What's up, gamers? Welcome back to Playverse Gaming, the place where passion for gaming runs deep. Tokyo Game Show 2025 just dropped some absolute bombs, and let me tell you, it feels like this year is one of the strongest lineups we've seen in a long time. From jaw-dropping RPGs to creepy horror, and even some unexpected returns, the PS5 is about to get stacked with fresh content. Now, I know we all love that feeling of discovering new games before everyone else starts talking about them. That's why today, we're going through 12 brand new PS5 games revealed at TGS 2025 that you definitely need on your radar. And hey, before we jump in, if you love games as much as I do, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on future lists like this one. Trust me, we've got a lot more coming here on Playverse Gaming. All right, let's dive in. Project Retrograde instantly caught my attention because it feels like one of those experimental titles that dares to do something different. It's described as a cyberpunk action RPG with heavy time manipulation mechanics, and honestly, the presentation at TGS was insane. The game lets you rewind, fast forward, and even pause specific elements of combat to outsmart your enemies. Imagine being surrounded by a squad of enemies and literally rewinding their bullets while you dash behind them. It looks crazy. What makes me excited is that it's not just about flashy gimmicks. The devs promised a deep story about technology versus humanity's essence. The art direction leans heavily into neon-drenched Tokyo mixed with dystopian chaos, and it has that same wow factor that made Control so unique when it launched. If they can balance the mechanics and narrative, this could be a sleeper hit that people will be talking about for years.
It's you.
Yeah. Where Winds Meet. Where Winds Meet is like stepping into a living painting. This open-world martial arts RPG is set in medieval China, and the freedom it offers looks wild. The combat is acrobatic and stylish, clearly influenced by wuxia movies. You're running up walls, deflecting arrows midair, and using wire-fu-style abilities. But what really got me is how they blend combat with exploration. You're not just fighting, you can shape your character into a healer, merchant, or wanderer, creating your own path through a living, breathing historical world. The graphics at TGS were breathtaking, with landscapes so beautiful you'd want to just stop and stare for hours. Personally, I think this could scratch the same itch Ghost of Tsushima did, but with an even deeper RPG structure. For fans of immersive cinematic worlds, this one is going to be huge.
Pattern Zero feels like the kind of game that's going to fry my brain in the best way possible. It's a narrative-driven puzzle adventure, but the hook is how it manipulates geometry and perspective. Think The Witness meets Control, with puzzles that literally bend space around you. At TGS, they showed this wild section where the player rotated entire environments, aligning shadows to unlock hidden pathways. But beyond puzzles, it actually has a mysterious sci-fi story about AI simulations collapsing on themselves. I'm a sucker for games that make me feel smart while creeping me out at the same time, and Pattern Zero seems like it'll deliver exactly that. If you like games that push the boundaries of what a level even means, keep your eye on this one.
Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. Okay, Yakuza fans, get ready. Not only is Sega bringing back Yakuza 3 with a full Kiwami-style remake, but they also announced Dark Ties, a completely new spin-off. The remake looks polished to perfection, new combat mechanics, modern graphics, and added story beats to flesh out Kiryu's arc. But Dark Ties? That's where it gets wild. It's darker, grittier, and apparently takes the franchise into uncharted emotional territory, exploring betrayals and power struggles in a way the series hasn't done before. As someone who's been hooked on Yakuza for years, this reveal made me jump out of my chair. We're getting the nostalgia and something new at the same time. It doesn't get better than that. Stranger Than Heaven feels like one of those deeply artistic narrative adventures that people are going to debate for years. It's a surreal third-person story game mixing dreamlike imagery with heavy themes about grief and forgiveness. The trailer showed shifting environments where entire worlds dissolve and reform as you walk through them, which honestly gave me chills. The gameplay seems to lean into exploration and dialogue choices, with your decisions shaping the emotional weight of the journey. Personally, I love when a game doesn't just try to entertain you, but actually makes you reflect. And Stranger Than Heaven looks like it'll stick with you long after you finish it.
Planning to do with those monsters.
Dying Light, The Beast. If you thought Dying Light 2 was intense, wait until you see The Beast. Techland is taking things even further by pushing horror survival into darker territory. Instead of just being a parkour survivor, this time you're being hunted by a new, terrifying apex predator, basically a monster that evolves as you progress. The demo at TGS showed some seriously nerve-wracking chase sequences that reminded me of Nemesis from Resident Evil 3, but way scarier. Combine that with the already brilliant parkour mechanics, and you've got a survival horror experience that's going to keep players on edge the entire time.
I don't care how high his walls are, or how big his army is. That fucker will pay for what he did to me. All the years he took from me, all the agony he put me through.
You want revenge?
Damn right I do!
World War Z Heavy Ordnance. World War Z is back, and Heavy Ordnance looks like pure chaotic fun. Instead of sticking with just cooperative horde gameplay, this one leans into massive scale war scenarios. Think Left 4 Dead, but with tanks, drones, and heavy artillery against swarms of zombies. It feels bigger, louder, and more destructive than anything the franchise has done so far. Honestly, I didn't expect to be hyped for another World War Z game, but this looks like the kind of thing that would be an absolute blast with friends.
Little Nightmares 3. One of my favorite horror series is back, and Little Nightmares 3 looks just as haunting as ever. The art direction is as eerie as always, creepy, oversized enemies, unsettling sound design, and environments that feel alive in the worst possible way. What excites me most is that this one seems to introduce cooperative mechanics, but still keeps that feeling of helplessness and dread that defines the franchise. I can already tell it's going to have some moments that will stick with me forever, the kind where you pause the game just to catch your breath. Gungrave G.O.R.E. Blood Heat. Gungrave is such a cult classic, and seeing Blood Heat announced at TGS made me grin. It's all about over-the-top, stylish gunplay, and this new entry seems to fully embrace that chaos. The devs promised smoother combat, insane combos, and a darker, bloodier story that's not afraid to go wild. Watching the trailer, it felt like Devil May Cry, but with even more bullets, and that's exactly what I want. Gungrave has always been about attitude and excess, and Blood Heat looks like it's taking that philosophy to the max. Froggy hates snow. Alright, let's talk about the weirdest, most delightful surprise from TGS. Froggy Hates Snow. It's a quirky platformer where you play as a grumpy frog trying to conquer a frozen world. The art style is colorful and cartoony, but don't let that fool you. The platforming challenges look seriously tough. This is the kind of game I love to see at TGS. Something totally unexpected, unique, and charming in its own way. It might not be a blockbuster, but it has the potential to become one of those cult indie hits people won't stop talking about.
Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac. Pac-Man is back again, this time with a full remake of Pac-Man World 2. Honestly, seeing this gave me a huge nostalgia hit. The remake not only updates the visuals, but also refines the platforming to feel smooth and modern. Pac-Man World was one of those underrated gems back in the day, and bringing it to PS5 feels like the perfect way to reintroduce it to a new generation. If you grew up with Pac-Man like I did, this one's gonna feel like visiting an old friend.
And that's not all. Complete missions to earn special items. Wear stylish new outfits. Collect and display figures. Get ready to power up and have a blast, because adventure is back on the menu. Here we go!
Beneath. Let's close with one of the most chilling reveals. Beneath. This deep-sea horror adventure is all about tension, claustrophobia, and the unknown. You're exploring underwater research facilities, and the environments are dripping with atmosphere. The monsters revealed in the trailer were absolutely terrifying, and the sound design gave me goosebumps. I love how horror games can make you feel powerless, and Beneath looks like it's going to nail that feeling of isolation perfectly.
So there you have it, gamers. 12 brand new PS5 games revealed at Tokyo Game Show 2025 that I think are absolutely worth keeping an eye on. Honestly, this lineup shows just how diverse gaming can be. Whether you're into horror, RPGs, shooters, or even weird indie gems about frogs hating snow, there's something here for everyone. Which of these announcements got you the most hyped? Personally, I can't wait to get my hands on Project Retrograde and Beneath, but I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to Playverse Gaming, and hit the bell so you never miss out on the latest in gaming. Until next time, keep playing, and I'll see you in the next one.